Okay, so first we're going to talk about how to graph these, which we've already talked about in class, but I want to make sure you can follow the process from graphing on paper to graphing in Aleks. So this is a piecewise function. It's got two pieces. The first piece only works when x is less than or equal to 2. The second piece only works when x is greater than 2. So let's do the first piece. It's going to follow the pattern minus 5x plus 3. And now the x's that we're allowed to choose are less than or equal to 2. So we'll start with 2. It can be equal to 2, so it's closed. And then we have to go less, so maybe 1 and 0. So we'll do the math here. We get negative 5 times 2 plus 3, which is negative 10 plus 3, which is negative 7. And then we have negative 5 times 1 plus 3, which is negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. And then if we put in 0, we have negative 5 times 0 plus 3, which is 0 plus 3, which is 2. Or which is 3. Sorry. For the second piece, we're going to do similar. We're going to have the second piece, piece 2. We've got, it's going to follow the pattern x minus 4. And we're only allowed to pick x's bigger than 2, but like we talked about in class, there's no number that's really close to 2 that we can pick. So we're going to pick 2, but we're going to leave it open. And it's going to follow the pattern x minus 4. Now, we want to pick numbers bigger than 2, so maybe 3 and 4. So let's do those. We'll have 2 minus 4, which is negative 2. We'll have 3 minus 4, which is negative 1. And then we'll have 4 minus 4, which is 0. So on this piece and on the other piece, we could have kept going with these x's, right? On the first piece, the black one on the left, we could have gone negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this notation with an arrow to remind ourselves that this graph does go on forever in this pattern. And the same on the second piece. So on the second piece, we could have picked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a million, and so we're going to put an arrow here. Now, when we're graphing it by hand, it's pretty straightforward, right? Where you graph it by hand, we know where we're starting, we know where we're putting an arrow. So if we graph the first piece, 2, negative 7, I need a little more room. So 2, negative 7 is here, and that was a closed circle. 1, negative 2, 0, 3, and then we would connect this with a line with an arrow. So as a stop on one side and an arrow on the other. For the second piece, we're going to go to 2, negative 2. We're going to put an open symbol. Then we'll do 3, negative 1, 4, 0, and this keeps going, so we'll connect those with a line. Now, this graph is not continuous. Now, actually graphing this in Aleks is can be a little bit challenging if you don't know which buttons to use. So we're going to switch over to the Aleks screen, and I'm going to come back to this screen back and forth. So let's go into Aleks here. I've got this same problem. So I want to start my graph with that solid dot, and that solid dot went at negative 2, 7, and then we did 1, negative 2, 0, 3. So negative 2, 2, negative 7, oops, 2, let's put that dot again, 2, negative 7 was here. And then we had 1, negative 2, 1, negative 2, and then we had 0, 3. And we want that line to keep going. So we're going to use this button here. See how there's one little tiny X, which is a stop, And then the other end doesn't explicitly have an arrow, but it doesn't have a stop on it. So we're going to keep going. So we're going to press this button and we're going to place the first point at our stop location and click. And then we're going to line up with the second point or the third point, whichever gets you perfectly on there. We're going to click that also. And so now that has drawn half of a line. It's drawn a ray, right? So it stops here and it goes on forever up here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to graph the other side. So let's get those coordinates again. We had 2, -2, 3, -1, and 4, 0. So 2, -2 was open. So I've clicked the hollow dot, 2, -2. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my points, 3, -1, 4, 0. And now again, I want a line, a half of a line, right? A ray, which has a start and it goes on forever. So we're going to use the ray. We're going to start at that open point, and then we're going to move our mouse over the 2 points, and that line should line up exactly. So now, is this continuous? Well, no, because we have to pick up. We can't just draw a V or an L. We have to draw a line, pick up our pen, and then start another line. So this is not continuous.